three that immediately would be easily recognizable films. This guy never stopped working.
He was the first cameraman to win an Oscar for a film shot in widescreen.
Ooh.
Wow.
So, did you know this about Krasner? This was his
hang on. We
last
got to get back
film.
into our show now. All right.
What? But he continued to work after that. Did he do television?
You mean last film as in died?
This
or
was
last...
his last film was Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, actually, I think I did see that. I knew there was somebody that I read that it was their last big production.
There is somebody else. There's I think the editor. Was it the editor? Somebody that comes back.
Yeah.
Let me find those notes.
But that goes into, I don't know if you remember.
This is Krasner's last film. Like, I want to know exactly why this was his last film.
I think he may have retired.
Because he was old.
You think
he started in the
1933.
30s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1970, 40 years.
It's not spring chicken at that point.
This goes back, Richard, to, and I think we mentioned this to you. Did you just say I love chicken?
Yeah, I love chicken.
So I think we mentioned this.
Can we go spring chicken after this?
Yeah.
I think we mentioned this to you that we began to notice when we did the first film that it seemed like everybody that was in it or worked on it passed away about 3 years later. And we started thinking, is this the curse of Planet of the Apes? It continues again. We've got somebody that didn't last much longer after this.
Well,
professionally, his career died.
This may have been, a studio that studios have been around since the 30s. These people were coming in. These weren't spring chickens. I mean, these weren't the people they brought in these films were not novice young actors.
I'm just thinking
outside of Nova.
Except for Lucius and Nova, everybody else in there was not a young person.
No, and you start thinking about when we had the second golden age of film in the 70s with Scorsese's and Coppola's, that's when they began to bring their friends out of film school because these were studio people. They were...
Right.
Krasner does beautiful work in this. He's also very economic. He never screws up, doesn't have problems. Bring him in.
That's why all these people into Twilight Zone multiple times. I mean, these were veterans that have been around. They're looking for a job.
It was a way that they churned a product out.
Not even just looking for a job. Maybe they knew that these were professionals that will do the work and let's get it done. And, you don't have to do 15 takes. You can do 3 takes and you move on because I've worked with you on Twilight Zone before.
So go ahead.
I was going to say we moved from Krasner as director of photography to art direction. We got John Martin Smith and William Kreber.
Kreber was in the original one. I remember that.
Right.
I do remember that. I wish I lost my original notes for like the first 20 minutes and I don't have those anymore. But
we get to set decoration Walter Scott and Sven Wickman.
Which again, set decoration is an odd credit to put it at the first
At the front, yeah. But again, we don't know what the union rules were back then.
Yeah.
We get makeup supervision by Dan Stripke. We get hairstyling by Edith Linden. What I found really interesting about this one little title, I know this is ridiculous, but they actually put hairstyling by. They actually put they put the preposition by in this title.
Instead of
and everything else
hairstyling
was
and name.
right. Everything else was makeup supervision. They didn't add the by.
Right.
Set direction. They didn't add the by. For some reason, Edith gets a buy.
And I actually do know the reason for that. That is actually union controlled because it's the same reason that you will see casting by and you'll not see casting director in most films because the Directors Guild says they are not directors. You cannot put the term director. So therefore, anytime they're putting a by, it's because something else about it is infringing on another union rule.
Poor Edith.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll say this: there's some wigs later on that need some help.
It all goes into.
I wouldn't want my name on it.
It goes into so much ego that goes into the production of this. When you start thinking that somebody can't get a title simply because somebody else thinks you're infringing on what they did.
And now for the actress, she's the only woman listed in production at this particular point.
She is, isn't she?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you move through the rest of it, she's the only woman listed at all.
You're talking about credit stuff. I mean, think about Solo right now.
Yeah.
Who gets it? Lord Miller or...
Did you not read that?
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Who gets
Solo?
it? Lord Miller.
The new Star Wars
Han
film?
Solo, because two people were directing it before Lord and Miller. They left.
Ron Howard comes in.
Ron Howard comes in directing it. So who gets the directing credit on it? They finally figured out Lord and Miller are going to be executive producers on it, even though they directed a lot of it.
That kind of happened in this, didn't it, as well? We had that kind of movement as well from somebody
Which I noticed that Rod Serling is not a credited writer, so this will make it a very different movie, I think.
This all goes to Paul Dean. Is that how you said it?
I'm assuming
Dane.
so.
Dane and Mort Abrams helps with the story. The two of them created the story. Dane wrote the script, and again with James Franciscus and his friend interjecting 60 pages of changes, which apparently made Dane
furious. It's going to have a different feel to it because it's not a Serling project.
After hairstyling by Edith Linden, we have orchestration by Ralph Ferraro. what I found interesting about Ralph is he only has a couple of credits before this particular movie. So this was an early movie for him. But he went on to do Masters of the Universe, The Wiz, RoboCop 2, and he worked all the way up into 2007 for Underdog. And then he passed away in 2012 at the ripe old age of 82. So he had a very long career, this being one of his early films.
So first off, Underdog, one of my great things of my childhood, and that film just...
What did it?
We'll go back and listen to music and see if you can kind of hear some orchestration comparisons.
Can you pull something out of it?
Planet of the Apes, Underdog.
I realized that with Mr. Dane, we didn't go into his career enough and give him his accolades. The guy had some serious skins on the wall. He wrote Goldfinger, The Spy.
Goldfinger. Sorry, I can only do it Shirley Bassey. That's how we hear it.
He wrote the Spy Who Came In From the Cold, the Martin Ritt film.
I'm so cold.
And he went on to write the rest of the Planet of the Apes films. He would write every one after this.
Wait, so the next three?
Yeah, after this, he writes the last 4 films.
Okay.
So he becomes a key player for us in all of this, and he has moments to shine.
So he is British. What I found interesting was he got a credit for saying that he resurrected or reinvented at least 3 genres, giving up for dead at the time: the British mystery, the Shakespeare adaptation, and the spy film.
And the which film?
The spy film.
Spy film.
Which he did for James Bond. Which he did for a few of the James Bond.
Well, yeah, you can look through this. He has a ton of stuff to be proud of. I don't know that he can really count himself as solely reviving because he didn't direct them.
He wrote them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a director does have a little bit of input upon what's written.
It's written 3 times on the page, on the stage, and in editing. So,
right.
You only get 1/3 of that.
I mean,
he has a right to say
Serling
it.
and Bold did not really. Some of their ideas may have been incorporated, but they did not write this script.
No.
Unlike Serling, who wrote the first script and then had it kind of tweaked by multiple writers after that.
And that's not necessarily what I meant. What I was trying to say was that...
You can't claim credit for changing all that stuff.
Because a director, you're going to write it under the supervision of the director. Directors are going to say, here's the story we're telling. They're going to come in, I want these changes. They get that. So, but... They're all going to do that. They're all going to tout themselves, and he obviously was a very good writer.
Well, the question is, and we'll get to this in the credits in a second, a little bit later. Story by Paul Dane and Mort Abrahams, and he's also the associate director. So, how much of this was Associate producer. How much was Mort changing things as it went along versus him sitting around with Paul? Yeah,
I'm Mort.
He's an associate producer, right? He's a money man. He's putting money into this film, and he's listed as an actual writer of this film. So how much is that him saying, we need to do this, we need to change this?
I think that, especially in a film like this where it's rush it, little money, it better pay off. I think it's a lot him because he knows that, great, I've had one big success. If I don't turn in something successful and I come in over budget, it's a problem.
Did you mention Dr. Dolittle a bit earlier? So he was a producer on Dr. Dolittle. Is that how we got? You think so?
Yeah.
That was the connection?
That's how he was connected to the 20th Century Family. I'm almost positive of that.
But didn't you say somebody came from Dolittle? Was that...
Dick Zanuck, who ran the studio. But he didn't run the studio. He was head of production at that time. His family's been tied to 20th Century Fox for a long time.
I remember you said that was a bad decision making on their part, which is why. Okay, yeah, he was attached.
So they had a lot of stumbles heading into this, and this film greatly saved their asses.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So we move from orchestration to film editor Marion Rothman. This was his 3rd film to actually edit. So he was also a novice editor at this particular point. He didn't have like a lengthy career. So any things that we see in terms of like, we're critiquing the choices made of pulling footage over. This was him.
From somebody doing it.
Right. This is his 3rd film. He went on to do Funny Lady, Christine, Mystic Pizza. He also did Escape from the Planet of the Apes as well. So he had a long career after this, but this was very early for him.
And most of those will usually be assistant editors. I don't know that they credited assistant editors at that time. They do now.
Which one were you oohing at, by the way? Mystic Pizza?
Yes.
Right.
That's one of my great disliked
like
films.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Don't.
I wasn't
So
planning
in the
on
movie, the pizza, I think it's Mystic.
But this is what's her name's first film, right? Her first big
Julie
breakout
Roberts.
film?
That was her breakout
Yeah,
film.
that was her.
Yeah.
Even though Annabeth Gish gets the reviews for that film, and she never became a star out of it.
She got a little revival in X-Files, and that was kind of it for her.
Oh, I liked her in that. That was really
Annabeth
good.
Gish is
it was
really
fantastic.
Yeah. She's a
I was
great
actually kind of
actress.
disappointed
Yeah,
they carried the two of them forward on X-Files.
Anytime I see her name, I know it's going to be a good role for her.
I thought her, Annabeth Gish,
Uh-huh.
and Terminator, what's his name, were fantastic.
The T-1000.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
They were fantastic at the end of I thought they could have carried the X-Files going forward.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. We're not doing the.
Oh,
X-Files.
sorry.
I actually didn't watch the revival. I just didn't.
Well, it's not the revival. This was the end of the actual series.
Oh,
she's
that's
talking about
right.
back
That's
in the
right.
90s,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I'd forgotten
When
that was in there.
Everybody was off, and then Scully randomly came back and kind of usurped their interest in them.
And Mulder
spinning
was
off the
still
show.
running around on his own. Yeah,
That mythos got so crazy.
because
Yeah.
they didn't figure it out beforehand. Anyways,
So, and then it goes to sound, Stephen Bass and David Dockendorf. And then it goes to special photographic effects. And I have something fun. L.B. Abbott is listed for special photographic effects. We haven't gotten into any actual special photographic effects yet. But he's known
the
for
star farter.
He's known for his work on Poseidon Adventure, Logan's Run.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And he was the head at the time. He was the head of the special effects department of 20th Century Fox. He started in 1957, and he retired in the company after this film ended in 1970. But it didn't do his career, and he was called out of retirement in 1972 to do the series MASH.
Huh. Because I was thinking that after he saw his special photographic effects on this one, he probably said, I'm done.
I'm done.
Well,
Not so special.
Oh, we can't talk about them yet, can we? Damn it, we can't talk about the special effects in this movie at all.
Nope.
But yeah, did MASH have special effects?
I'm sure it had something with the helicopters flying and things like that.
I don't think
You
they
have to
probably
fake a
would have
chicken
had.
as a
I
baby?
think they would have gone straight visual effects, not
By the way, just
any
wrote down the end of MASH.
matte painting or anything.
No,
it felt like TV schedule and.
Was it MASH the film or MASH the television shoot?
The show.
Oh,
Okay.
the TV
The
show.
random
yeah, no.
landmines that would just blow up.
Maybe.
Nah, they wouldn't have done stuff like that for TV.
A little bit of
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was him. And Art Cruikshank was also part of the special.
Our what?
Cruikshank.
I want my name to be
Cruikshank.
I want my name to be Cruikshank.
Second unit director
Punch
Chuck
you in the
Roberson.
Cruikshank.
Unit production manager Joseph Baum. Assistant director Fred Simpson. Art illustrator Fred Harpman.
Fred.
Associate producer Mort Abrams is now brought up. And then we get the story by Paul and Mort.
Paul and Mort.
Paul and Mort. Mort.
More.
I think that we can easily say
Mm-hmm.
that we're at least behind or ahead of all the credits into next week. I think we at least have the promise outside. We've not seen the director's name yet.
We've killed the credits. At
We
this
are
point.
about to venture into Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Yeah.
bring it up. Next week is going to be baller.
We got new footage. We got all sorts of stuff going on.
We do.
I can't wait for Sean to actually see what's Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Are we going
terrified.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I thought it was like that.
It's a musical. Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God, I was wrong.
I knew you were going
It
to
was
sing
Beneath the Planet Apes all
So
along.
all we really got in the first 5 minutes was kind of a replay of the original
Right.
with the reveal. And then we finally get into this 5th minute. We actually begin to see them actually traversing the Forbidden Zone as a desert, which is
Right.
kind of weird because we got to saw we saw the green as if going towards the Statue of Liberty was going to have some promised land. Where did that green go?
Well, we do see as they ride.
Yeah, I literally saw you look at me right when you said that. Where'd that gringo?
I didn't even catch that. You were just really setting up that whole joke, weren't you?
But it's desert, desert, desert. We get the final shot of them, and they're coming over the ridge, and they're moving towards the camera. And it actually does look a little more green than the earlier moments.
I wish he'd gotten down and dug it out of the ground and held it up again.
Look at the sand. It's so healthy. Oh,
Dodge would love this.
let me smoke a cigar.
So end of minute 5, we're new footage. We're in the desert. We're clearly in New York.
Oh,
And
clearly.
we're in Hell's
We're
Kitchen.
like in Greensboro. I don't know New York stuff.
I'm saying Hell's Kitchen.
Okay. You just going with Daredevil?
Yeah.
So now we're setting up where the movie's
like
about to
Daredevil.
go. I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
All right.
it's actually. I had the feeling that something's coming.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we've got 90 more episodes to do of this movie.
90.
90.
All right.
Don't scare everybody. No,
All right.
this movie is awesome. This movie is awesome. Sean, you have so much to look forward to.
I'm excited. Let's wrap this up so we can play HQ Trivia.
Okay, I think that's it for the week. Is there anything else, my friends, that you want to throw in before we call the week a week?
Happy Saturday.
Hey, week.